The Whispering Tree. In the small town of Hollowbrook, nestled deep within a forgotten forest, there stood an ancient oak tree. The townspeople avoided it, whispering tales of how the tree was cursed, but no one could remember exactly why. It was simply understood that no one went near the Whispering Tree. But Clara, a curious and defiant teenager, was not one to heed such warnings. She had recently moved to Hollowbrook with her mother after her father's death. The town's eerie quietness and the dense, oppressive woods surrounding it only fueled her rebellious nature. When she heard the whispers of the tree from her classmates, she was determined to discover the truth. One cold autumn afternoon, Clara ventured into the woods determined to find the tree. The air grew colder as she approached, the sky darkening as the branches overhead seemed to close in on her. The path was almost invisible now, covered by leaves that crunched ominously underfoot. After what felt like hours, Clara found it, the Whispering Tree. Its gnarled trunk was twisted and blackened, with roots that curled out of the earth like skeletal fingers. The air around it was unnaturally still, and a sense of dread washed over her, but Clara shook it off. She wasn't about to let an old tree scare her. She stepped closer, reaching out to touch the rough bark. As her fingers brushed the surface, a cold wind suddenly whipped through the clearing, and Clara swore she heard a faint whisper. She froze, her heart pounding in her chest. It was as if the tree was speaking directly to her, its voice barely audible, but filled with a deep, ancient malice. "Come closer," the whisper beckoned. Against her better judgment, Clara leaned in, her ear almost touching the bark. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, but now she could make out words, dark, terrible words that promised secrets and power, but at a cost. The tree wanted something from her, something deep and personal. "Give us your pain," the voice hissed, "and we will give you peace." Clara's thoughts turned to her father, to the grief and anger she had carried since his death. The promise of peace was tempting, so tempting that she didn't notice the roots slowly winding around her ankles. "Let go," the tree whispered, its voice more soothing now, almost kind. "Let us take it away." Tears filled Clara's eyes as she relived the moment she had found her father, cold and lifeless. The pain was unbearable, a constant weight she had carried alone. If the tree could truly take it away. The roots tightened their grip, pulling her closer to the tree, and in her grief Clara didn't resist. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Take it." A sudden sharp pain shot through her chest as the roots plunged into her skin, burrowing deep, draining her of every emotion, every memory tied to her father. The agony was unbearable, yet she couldn't scream. Her voice was gone, stolen by the tree along with her grief. She felt herself growing colder, her heart slowing as the tree fed on her pain, her very life force. When the sun rose the next morning, the townspeople found Clara, her body entwined with the tree, her face frozen in a final expression of terror. Her eyes were open, empty, as if her soul had been ripped away. The Whispering Tree stood silent, but the townspeople knew better. They could feel the malevolence radiating from it, stronger than ever before. And when the wind blew through its branches, some swore they could hear a new whisper, a voice they recognized. Clara's voice, now trapped within the tree, forever whispering to the next curious soul who might venture too close.